Hello, Bloomington. I'm Mayor Tim Busse, and this is the Council Minute for the week of August 2nd. The highlight of this week was one of my favorite annual events, National Night Out. National Night Out is about two things. It's about community building, and it's about building relationships between residents and the public safety staff dedicated to keeping them safe. We had more than 300 parties registered across the city of Bloomington for National Night Out this week, and every one of those parties that were registered got a visit from the members of the Bloomington Police Department or the Bloomington Fire Department, and many of them got both. I got to ride with Chief Hartley, and it was great to see how excited kids got when a police officer showed up, and in fact, it was fun to see how excited some of the adults were too. Throughout the night, I consistently heard the same messages. First, Bloomington residents truly appreciate the work that our police officers and firefighters do to keep them safe. And second, residents feel really good about living in Bloomington. Both of those sentiments, by the way, are consistent with the results of our recently completed community survey, which I'll share next week. But back to this week. The most important thing about National Night Out is that it builds community in the place where it matters the most, in your neighborhood, where you live. Safety begins by taking care of each other and looking out for each other. Having neighborhood events to get to know your neighbors is the foundation of that safety. And frankly, a connected neighborhood makes the work of keeping the community safe much easier for our public safety professionals. I want to specifically thank all of the Bloomington Police Department staff, the firefighters, city staff, and the city council members who visited the parties. And I especially want to thank Katie Zerl, the person who coordinates National Night Out for the Bloomington Police Department. Katie has help from a great team, but like somebody said Monday night, National Night Out is Katie's Super Bowl. And it went off without a hitch once again. Congratulations to all of you who chose to make a difference this year. We did have a council meeting this week as well, and one of the items was the second part of a two-part presentation from city staff talking about the racial equity action teams at work in each of the city departments. In September 2020, approximately 60 employees volunteered to be part of the city's inaugural racial equity action teams. These staff-driven teams advance racial equity from the unique perspectives of individual departments and divisions. This week we heard from police, public works, community development, and community services. Equity and inclusion is a strategic priority for the city of Bloomington. We know that investing in equity and inclusion will not only improve individual lives, it will generate broad community benefits as well. The city's work to advance racial equity focuses both internally, focusing on issues such as workforce diversity, inclusive culture, and equitable program and service delivery, and externally, where the work focuses on capacity building and disparity reduction. Internal efforts are guided by the city's racial equity business plan and supported by the city's racial equity action teams. The presentations last week and this week show a commitment to equity and inclusion that clearly demonstrates that our strategic priority of making Bloomington a more equitable and inclusive community and making the city a more equitable and inclusive organization is progressing. I am so grateful to our staff for their dedication to this work. The Bloomington Community Outreach and Engagement Division, also known as COED, is coordinating a process improvement effort for the city's boards and commissions. We want to provide clarity, consistency, equity, and transparency with respect to the recruitment and appointment of board and commission members. COED has collaborated with staff liaisons and other employees who support boards and commissions. They've talked with current board and commission members, with folks in legal, administration, and others to develop recommendations for City Council consideration. Now, a key component of the recommendations is a City of Bloomington board and commission policy that specifically defines consistent procedures and guidelines pertaining to the recruitment, the application, selection, appointment, and onboarding of boards and commission members. On Monday night, staff shared information about the policy development process and an overview of the draft contents. They answered questions from the City Council, and we had a very good discussion about ways to improve the process. Boards and commissions provide an important opportunity for residents to have a voice in their local government, and the City Council greatly values their contributions. We hope to have a policy in place this fall to help build a better experience for those who are interested in getting involved. Well, that's another Council Minute. Just trying to recap a few things that the City Council and the staff are doing to serve you better. I'll see you next week. And until then, stay safe, Bloomington.